without parabolas. Yes, but it's called what? Hyparabolas, not parabolas. Because I know, guys, that you have studied before parabolas when you studied the quadratic functions. You know the parabola. But today we have a new function, which is called hyperbola. Hyperbolas, okay, is, let's see quickly, guys, here, the hyperbolas. Yes, the definition of a hyperbola is the set of points in a plane, the difference of whose distances from two fixed points called foci is constant. Okay. In this lesson, we will see today, inshallah, how to graph first the hyperbolas. For example, if we would like to graph this function, x squared over 4. And pay attention, please, and note that there is minus here between them, not plus, the same as the ellipse, over 9 is equal to 1. This is the first case. Let's name it I. This is the first case. When our equation is written in this form, when it's written in this form, a squared over, x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. So you will find that the first case, x is positive, the x squared is positive, and the a squared is always below the positive 1. So when here we have x squared is positive, so the a squared is the one or the number below it. And when the y squared is positive, so you have y squared over a squared, and then minus x squared over b squared is equal to 1. So the a squared is always below the positive 1. So we have two cases, as I said for you. The first case here, when my equation is x squared over a squared minus a y squared over b squared equals 1. And the second case, when we have here y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared is equal to 1. So in the first example here, we have x squared over 4 minus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. So let's quickly graph this hyperbola. We will say that a squared is equal to 4, and so the a is 2. And we can say that b is equal to, b squared is equal to, yes, 9. Do you hear me, guys? Yes. B squared is equal to 9. So the b is 3. And now listen carefully that the c squared, in this case, the hyperbolas, equals a squared plus b squared. And I will tell you why. Because in this case, or in this lesson, hyperbolas, the c is taller than the vertices. So it's a squared plus b squared. So we have c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, and c squared now is equal to the a, which is a squared, which is 4, plus the b squared, which is 9. So is equal to 13.
Radical 13, C.
Yes. So c only is equal to, the c is equal to
Plus
positive
minus radical 13.
or negative radical 13. Okay, so let's graph it. And I would like you all to pay attention, please. While graphing this one, while graphing here, I'll draw here the x-axis and the y-axis, the xy plane. Here's the x-axis and here the y-axis. And now let's plot here our center. What's the center? Yes,
0,
the
0.
center, there is no h and k, the same as ellipse. There is no any h and k here. So we can say quickly that my center is h and k 0, 0. So we will start by plotting my center, which is 0, 0. Okay, and also from the center, we have to move 2 units right and 2 units left, because the A is equal to what? Yes, 2. So we're gonna move here 2 units right and 2 units left. And then I'm gonna move up 3 units because the
Yes.
B is a 3.
And 3 units
So
left.
I will move up 3 units up and 3 units down from the center. And then pay attention, all of you, please. Connect the points. Connect the points you have. So let's connect the points as rectangle. Draw your framework like this. Connect the vertices and the co-vertices. Draw your framework, the framework like a rectangle here. So it's a rectangle like this one. Now draw your asymptote. Asymptotes will be, the asymptotes should be dashed lines, like this, passes through the corners of this rectangle and the center. So it should be like this. And also one more like this. Passes through the corners of the rectangle and also the center of this hyperbola. Okay, nice. Because here we have x squared is positive, because the x squared is positive, so my parabola, it has the right and left branches. It has right and left branches since it's positive here. So now let's draw our branches. Can take now. Yes. And let's draw it by any other color. And this one. Yes. You have it up here. Approach and go with the asymptotes as possible as you can. Like this. Approach your what asymptotes and draw arrows. And the other one here, the other branch, because x squared is positive, you should draw 2 branches of the parabola right away, opens right and left, like this. Okay, excellent. Now, let's say, guys, how to what? How to write now our what? Foci. The foci, we said from the center, we're gonna move radical 13 with the transverse axis. Where's the transverse axis? The transverse axis is the one that here, this one here, guys. Let's make it black. This one is the transverse axis, which is the x-axis right now. Passes through the center and passes through also. It passes through the center and passes through here, this one. Okay. Passes through the vertices and passes through also. So guys, let's plot here our what foci. The foci will be, the foci here is equal to 0 and radical 13 and 0 and negative radical 13 because the center is 0, 0. So I would like to say it as
0 radical 13 and 0
yes.
negative.
Well, what is radical 13? Let's say what is radical 13? C equal the first f, or we can name it here. The f is equal to f1 is equal to 0 and radical 13 because my transverse axis is like this, vertical. Yeah, that's vertical. So we have to plot it with the vertices. I have two vertices, V1 and V2, and here the co-vertices. Okay, co-vertex
So
1
Mr.
and
A
here,
is the co-vertices in this graph.
yes. We moved right and left A units. No, so this one is my, sorry, vertex, and this is the co-vertex. So here it's the vertex, V1, and here V2, and this the co-vertex 1 and the co-vertex 2. Okay, the foci will be here, guys, on the transverse axis that passes through the center and the vertices. So can you calculate for me, guys, here, radical 13? Yes, radical 13. What is radical 13?
3.6.
So this is V2 and V1, and this is co-V1 and co-V2. Okay, and this point we should cancel it right now and write it what? 3.6 and 0 and negative 3.6 and 0, and now plot your points. Plot here the foci, 3.6 and, so now you will find negative 1, 2, and 3, 3.6. 3.6, it's here. That's why, guys, the equation of the foci, c squared equals a squared plus b squared, because as you see now, f1 is longer than the vertex 1 and vertex 2. So here is vertex 1 and vertex 2. Okay, so we can name this here f1 and here f2. So v1 and v2, sorry, and f1 now is 3.6 and 0, and the negative 3.6 is here. f2, it's longer than v2. That's why, guys, that's why my equation is now plus, not the same as the ellipse. C squared equals a squared minus b squared. Okay, so that's all for this question, guys. So you can take a screenshot quickly, and also you can watch the video because it's recorded. So again, as you see, guys, x squared over 4 minus y squared over 9 equals 1. Just give me 1 minute, please. I'm gonna return back. The co-vertex 2, yeah, it's
Negative
0
3,
and
0.
3, and the
0, negative 3, sorry.
co-vertex 2 is 0 and negative 3. You can also write f1, it has
F1
what?
equal 3.6,
3.6
0,
and
and
0.
negative 3.6,
And
0.
write also f2. Yes, f2 here is equal to
Negative
negative
3.6,
3.6 and 0.
0.
You can write now all your information with the question asking you about. Okay. One more thing the question that I ask you about, guys, which is write the equation. Pay attention, please, all of you. Write the equation of the asymptotes. Where's the asymptote, mister? The asymptotes here, the dashed line that passes through the corners of this rectangle and the center. So this line, this dashed line in white, this one. So how to write quickly your equation? Because here the x squared has a positive sign, so my equation simply will be, so let's write here, equation of asymptotes is y equals, is it b over a or a over b? Sometimes you will find that your equation is of asymptotes plus or minus b over a x in case of your center is 0, 0, like this question. So you'll find now, guys, y equals b over a or a over b according to the question type. How to determine it quickly, guys? Pay attention. You can say, yeah, shabab, here, this line, this one here. Pay attention, please. How to find the slope of this line? The slope of this line is rise over run. And how to find its slope? I'm gonna rise up here, b units, and to the right a units. That's why it's b over a, because the rise over run is b over a. So my equation of asymptote here is b over a. So how many units I raised up? I raised up here 3. and I moved to the right 2 units, which is the value of a, x. So the equations of the asymptotes, positive 3 over 2x and negative 3 over 2x, because one of them is rises from left to right, and the other asymptote, this one here, is falls from left to right. It has a negative slope. That's why you have two, what? That's why you have what, guys? Two asymptotes. Finished. Again, when x squared over 4 minus y squared over 9, you should check first the sign of x squared. Is it positive or negative? The positive sign comes with the x squared. So the a is always with the one that has a positive sign. A squared is under the one that has a positive sign. So a squared is 4 and a is 2. B squared is 9 and the b is 3. The equation of hyperbolas for foci, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Substitute, c is positive or negative radical 13. It has 2 points, 3.6 and 0, and negative 3.6 and 0. How to graph? It's very interesting, guys. You should plot first at the center 0, 0. Move right 2 units, left 2 units, up 3 units, down 3 units, because your b is 3 and your a is 2. Draw your rectangle that connects the vertices and the co-vertices, and then draw here asymptotes. The asymptotes passes through the corners of this rectangle and also the center. And then draw your branches, your parabolas, right and left. Why not right and left? Why not, guys, up and down? Because my positive sign is with the x squared. X squared comes first in my equation with a positive sign, so my branch is right and left. If the y squared in the second case comes first, guys, with a positive sign, so your branches of the parabola opens up and down, okay? And plot your foci. You will notice that the foci now, f1 and f2, not inside your what? Graph, not inside your graph, like the ellipse, but you'll find that f1 and f2 is larger than v1 and v2. That's why my equation is a squared plus b squared, okay? And then list all information we need, the v1, v2, co-v1, co-v2, which is co-vertex 1 and co-vertex 2 and f1 and f2. Now let's move on, guys, to the second case. The second case, or the second kind of equation for what? Hyperbolas, which is y squared over, for example, 16 minus x squared over 9. This all is 1. So when I see that the right hand side is 1 and the y comes first with a positive sign, as you see here, the y has a positive sign. Yes, so what should we do, guys? We should say that the a squared now is, yes, the a squared is 16. We said always the a squared with the positive variable. So y now is positive, so the a is with y, okay, is under the y, below the y. The a is positive plus or negative, plus 4. Minus 4, right? And the b squared is 9. So the b only is plus minus 3. Quickly find the equation of the hyperbolas. Foci هنا شباب is a squared plus b squared. 16 so plus the c 9. Only squared equals 16 plus 9. 25. So 25. C equal 5. So the c is plus minus 5. Okay, now so I think 1, 0, 0. 2, 3 steps till now. 3 steps till now. A squared, b squared, c squared. Okay, yes. Now we will start to graph. To graph here, draw your XY plane into your grid. Here is X and Y axis, and start to graph. Yes, we will start first by A. The A is 4. So guys, listen carefully. I'm gonna move up here. My transverse axis will be parallel to the y-axis or exactly on the y-axis, because my center here is what? 0, 0. 0, 0. There is no h and k. The equation up here with no minus something or x squared minus something. So my center is 0, 0. So start first here by plotting your center 0, 0.
Yes, 4 units up and 4 units down.
4 units up here. Now, خلي بالكم. 4 units up. I will move vertically here. 1, 2, 3, 4 up here. No, مش هتبان. طيب. Let's do it up here. Right. Here, this point. And we move down 4 units from the center 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the second vertex right here, V1, and here V2.
3
now,
units right.
Yes, 3 units to the right. Why 3 units to the right? Because the B is
3.
Yes, 3. So I will move Muhammad 1, 2, 3 to the right and 1, 2, 3 to the left. So here the co-vertex 1 and the co-vertex 2.
True.
And then quickly, guys, draw your rectangle. Draw your rectangle. Yes. When we draw, guys, the rectangle that passes through the vertices like this and the co-vertices, it's called the framework. And try, guys, now to draw what? Your
Dashed line.
asymptotes. The dashed lines, the asymptotes. This one that comes from this corner and passes through the center, 0, 0, or even H and K, and move like this to the other corner of the rectangle. Again, for the other corner, we move like this. Move, yes. Passes through the center and move to the other corner. Now, pay attention, please. Do you have 2 branches right, opens right and left, or up and down? Simply
Up and down.
Up and down.
Up and down. Yes, correct. So we will do it here like this. From the vertex, we move and approach my asymptotes as possible as I can, but does not touch it. Like this, opens up. And from this vertex also, I will move and draw here. Another parabola opens down. So it's a hyperbola, guys. It has 2 branches of parabolas. One opens it up, other down. Sometimes right and left, according to the sign. According to what? The sign here of x squared or y squared. Okay, now the foci. The foci is 5 units. What is the transverse axis? The transverse axis that has a length of 2a. The one that include both vertices and the center and the foci.
Mr.
So we
the
can now plot.
The y-axis it is on.
On the y-axis, it's what and what? It's 0 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,
0
5.
and 5
It's
and
here.
0 and 5.
Let's choose another color here.
-5.
Yes, here, this is the first focus, F1, and the second focus, 0 and -5. So in the hyperbola, you will find that the foci, guys, outside, yes, outside the rectangle, okay, not inside. The equations of asymptotes. The equation of asymptotes, it's equal to y equals plus minus.
A over
I said
beta.
for you, sometimes it's b over ax and sometimes a over bx, according to what? Your slope of this line. So if we'd like to determine the slope of this line, this dashed line, guys, how to determine its slope? Rise over run. So I'm gonna rise up here, b units, right? And move to the right, a units. Okay,
So it's A over B.
it's a over b.
Yes, Mr.
Why a over b? Yes, it's a over b. We can rise up p units and to the right. No, but here it's not including the line. You can move here to the right. We can move like this to the right, a units, and move up b units. So
So wasn't it B units
no,
to the right?
rise
and
over that.
up?
It's b over a. It's b. It should be b over a, right? Excellent. I forgot here. So, and moving to the right b. So we can write now, thank you, Shawqi, it's a over b. So simply, guys, if your equation is y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared equals 1, the equations of asymptotes y equals plus minus a over b x. And substitute now. Y equal plus minus the a. What is a? 4
4
over what is b?
3
3x. And that's it. So here we have the equation of the asymptotes. Any question? Any questions, guys?
No, clearance.
Okay, so let's move on, guys, to practice. I will give you here 2 questions to solve as a classwork, and please send for me your answers via WhatsApp. The first one, x squared over 25 minus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. This is the first question. The second question is y squared over 4 minus x squared over 1, okay, or 16 is equal to what? To 1. Yeah, guys, you should do this 2 questions within what? 10 minutes. Each question 5 minutes. Start.